Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. In this video, we will explain the recommended steps to unpack, mount, and program a new Generation 2 Networks Gateway into the CA4K software. For this demonstration, we will use the AL-IME2 version. This version is the wired version. By default, a new gateway contains alarm lock firmware and is not compatible with the Continental CA4K software. This is also true for all expanders and wireless locks. Once they are discovered and added into the CA4K software, you must download new firmware to them to make them Continental compatible. As mentioned in the Networks Wireless Locks introduction video, the original series of Networks gateways are the Generation 1 gateways. The Generation 1 gateways were enhanced and redesigned and are now the Generation 2 series of gateways. As per the overview diagram displaying, there are four main components in a CA4K wireless lock system. The first is the CA4K server, running the CA4K software. The second is a Networks gateway. The third is the Networks wireless lock itself. And the fourth is the optional Networks expander. The optional Networks expander increases the allowable distance between a gateway and lock. In the CA4K software, there is a component that communicates with the wireless lock system. The component is called the Wireless Lock Server. Very important. Before the CA4K software can communicate with wireless locks, the wireless locks option must be enabled in the CA4K software under System Settings. In summary, the CA4K software communicates on a local area network to a router. The router can either communicate to a gateway via a network cable or 802.11, also known as wireless. The gateway then communicates directly to a wireless lock or to an optional expander that communicates to a wireless lock. Very important. Unlike Continental controllers, all Networks products must be discovered and added into the CA4K software. This is done under the Configuration Wireless Locks menu selections after the Wireless Locks feature is enabled in System Settings. The next screen displays the current Generation 2 gateways and expander. The first gateway displayed is the wired version. The wired version is the AL-IME2. The second is the wired and wireless version, and the third is the PoE version. Very important. When using an AL-IM2-80211 wireless gateway, you must first connect up with an Ethernet cable prior to programming in the wireless settings. Again, for our demonstration, we will be using an AL-IME2 wired gateway. Unpack the AL-IME2 gateway and take note of all the documentation and hardware in the box. The documentation includes the gateway installation instructions and the blue Gateway ID card with the MAC address on it. If the documentation also includes a DL-Window user guide, please disregard this document. DL-Windows is not used when the CA4K software is used. In addition to the documentation, a 6-volt AC transformer, power cable, Ethernet cable, and gateway is included. The 6-volt AC transformer will not be provided with the PoE model gateway. Attach the end of the power cable with the spade lugs to the 6-volt AC transformer power supply. Open up the gateway by inserting a small flathead screwdriver into the two slots at the bottom and twist while applying inward pressure. Prior to doing this, please verify the bottom housing screw is removed. On a new gateway, the bottom screw should not be installed yet. Warning: mounting the gateway in the proper location is critical. The positioning of the gateway is also critical. Refer to the installation instructions. The mounting instructions are clearly noted in the installation instructions. Upon opening up the gateway, feed the power supply cable and the Ethernet cable through the opening in the back cover. Plug in the Ethernet cable to the gateway board and attach the power supply cable to the blue 2-pin connector. Next, check the settings of the 2 rotary address switches. Very important. If the system is not using any expanders, set the address switches to 00 on all gateways. If expanders are used in the system, the gateway address must match the expander addresses. This is why the rotary dials are called expander group dials. You can have up to 7 expanders attached to one gateway. Above the rotary switches is the reset switch. This is the reset switch you use to perform factory and normal resets. Next, close up the gateway. The gateway consists of a yellow, red, and green LED. Next, apply power to the gateway using the supplied transformer. Upon connection, the gateway automatically begins searching for a valid IP address from the network. Note, the LED flash sequences might be different with future releases of firmware. Upon power up, even if it's a new gateway out of the box, it is recommended to perform a factory reset one time. A factory reset clears gateway memory, user data, configuration data, and IP information, thus returning the unit to its original factory settings. There is also a normal reset that only clears lock data but keeps the IP information. This might be the better choice after a static IP address is programmed in. If a factory reset is performed on a gateway with a static IP address in it, the static IP address will have to be reprogrammed back in. As previously noted, perform the factory reset on a new gateway out of the box. To perform a factory reset, press and hold the Reset button. The red LED turns on solid. Keep holding until the yellow LED also turns on solid. Release the button. The yellow LED will remain on solid, and the green LED will start to flicker rapidly, indicating the gateway is ready for discovery. Most important, the goal is to get the green LED flickering rapidly. Next, launch the CA4K software. Upon launching the CA4K, click System and then System Settings. On the bottom of the screen, select Use Wireless Locks. Next, click Save. Next, click OK on the confirmation screen and then click Close. Next, launch the Configuration Wireless Lock screen. Click Configuration on the main menu. Click Wireless Locks on the drop-down menu. The Wireless Locks configuration screen displays. Please take a close look at this screen. The top half of the screen is for gateways and the bottom half is for wireless locks. Next, click the Discover Gateways button and then click the Search button. On a large system, the search function can take a minute or longer. Take note of the MAC address of the gateway found. If the gateway is the new gateway we just powered up and discovered, click the Add Gateways button. Upon clicking the Add Gateways button, the gateway password screen will display. Very important. You must remember the passwords of each gateway. If you forget a password, you will need to reset, discover, and add the gateway back in again. For our demonstration, we will use 123456. Next, you must select the correct time zone. If this is not set correctly, you will also need to reset, discover, and add the gateway back in again. For our demonstration, we will leave it at the default time zone. Next, click OK. Next, click the Assigned Gateways tab to verify the gateway was successfully assigned. The gateway we just added should be in the list of assigned gateways. At this point, you must program in a static IP address, because the IP address in the gateway must never change. Click the Network Settings button. The Gateway Network Setup screen displays. After consulting the network administrator for the static IP address information, disable the Use DHCP box and enter in the IP address, subnet mask, and gateway IP address provided to you by the network administrator. When complete, click Save Settings. Note, it might take a few seconds for these changes to take effect. If you receive any messages displaying Gateway Not Found, wait a few seconds and click the Refresh Gateways button on the top menu. Verify the new static IP address now displays. Next, in the Assigned Gateways list, the gateway will display the firmware version. Since this gateway was a new gateway, Continental firmware will automatically download to the gateway. For our demonstration, it should display 5.47. This is the version of Continental Gateway firmware. If you manually have to download updated firmware, click the Download button and click Send Firmware to Gateway. This will download the most recent firmware to the gateway. Upon discovering, adding, and downloading firmware to the gateway, the green LED should flash at a slower rate. Reminder: the rapid flash means the gateway is ready for discovery, and the slower flash means the gateway is already configured. In addition to the buttons we described, there is an Add Gateway button. This button allows you to manually add in gateway. There is also a Replace and Remove button for gateways. This concludes the Getting Started with Gateways video. After completing this video, please watch the following videos on Getting Started with Expanders and Wireless Locks. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.